It's been a wild ride for Huawei over the past few years. No Google services, no US parts, not even Android. Most companies would have called it quits. But Huawei went the other way and dropped something completely unexpected: the Pura X. Flip phones have pretty much followed the same script for years. Narrow screens, vertical flips, all about that retro vibe. Huawei looked at all that and said, let's do it differently. The Pura X flips open sideways, giving it a wider, almost tablet-like feel. And honestly, it changes the whole game for foldables. So let's break it down and see if this bold new design really lives up to the hype, or if it's just different for the sake of being different. At a glance, it looks similar to a Galaxy Z Flip or Motorola Razr when folded, but the horizontal hinge instantly sets it apart. That design change isn't just for show, it leads to a much more usable internal screen. The Pura X opens up to a 6.3-inch display with a 16:10 aspect ratio, significantly wider than what the Flip competition offers. Most flip phones suffer from awkward, narrow displays that make multitasking and media consumption feel cramped. Here, the screen is spacious, delivering a layout closer to a mini tablet. It's immersive, practical, and refreshingly different. Then there's the outer screen, a 3.5-inch square panel with a 980 by 980 resolution and 120 Hz refresh rate. It's larger than what the Galaxy Z Flip 6 offers and, surprisingly, comes with a built-in speaker. That means calls can be taken directly from the cover screen, no unfolding required. It's a subtle but impactful feature that adds real-world convenience. But a pretty screen and clever design aren't enough to carry a phone. Software matters. And this is where the Pura X takes its boldest step yet. This isn't Android. This is Harmony OS 5, and it marks Huawei's complete departure from Google's ecosystem. Unlike earlier Harmony versions that were built on Android open-source project code, Harmony OS Next, which ships exclusively with the Pura X, is a fully self-contained operating system. It's not compatible with Android apps. That alone is a seismic shift. Yet somehow, it works. Despite the absence of Android, essential Chinese apps like WeChat and Taobao are fully supported. Harmony OS 5 delivers a smooth, responsive experience aided by Huawei's own Kirin chipset, the Kirin 9020. There are two memory options, 12GB and 16GB of RAM, which handle multitasking with ease. Daily use feels fluid, even with multiple apps running simultaneously. It's a reminder that Huawei's internal hardware development, despite years of sanctions, is still very much alive and thriving. Harmony OS 5 also introduces Harmony Intelligence, the company's in-house AI assistant built on the Pangu model and boosted by DeepSeek. This isn't a basic voice assistant. It's contextual, conversational, and packed with genuinely useful features. Take eye tracking AI, for example. Ebook pages can be turned with just a glance. Whisper mode allows private voice interactions without shouting commands in public. The assistant feels less like a gimmick and more like an actual productivity tool. There's also Xiaoyai, the revamped AI assistant experience that now offers natural language interactions, real-time suggestions, and lifelike responses. It's a step forward for intuitive UX, something few assistants outside Apple and Google ecosystems have truly nailed. Photography doesn't take a back seat either. The rear camera system includes a 50-megapixel main sensor, a 40-megapixel ultra-wide lens, and an 8-megapixel telephoto with 3.5 times optical zoom. On the front, there's a 10.7-megapixel selfie camera. For vloggers or content creators, Harmony OS even throws in motion tracking and multi-screen preview options. Helpful tools that feel designed for a real use case, not just spec sheet fluff. Images are crisp, color reproduction is accurate, and thanks to the phone's wider display, framing shots and reviewing them feels more natural than on most flip phones. And with the ability to shoot from the cover screen, spontaneous photography feels more accessible. Now, let's address the elephant in the room: app compatibility. While mainstream Chinese apps work fine, the lack of Android support means global users will feel the pinch. No Google Apps, no Play Store, and no side-loading APKs. Huawei is betting big on its own app ecosystem, but outside China, that's still a significant hurdle. Availability is another limiting factor. As of now, the Pura X is a China-only release. It starts at 7,499 yuan, which translates to roughly $1,038 for the base model. The collector's edition, featuring unique green and red panel finishes and 16 gigabytes of RAM, pushes the price to about $1,245. Those in the West, hoping to try this form factor, will have to import it, which complicates support and updates. Still, even without a global release, the Pura X sends a message. This is Huawei flexing its innovation muscle and proving that despite sanctions, it can still lead, and sometimes surpass, its competition. The fact that NVIDIA's CEO publicly acknowledged Huawei's growing AI presence says a lot. Even industry giants can't ignore what Huawei's building. That said, not everything about this phone is ideal. The wide design, while excellent for screen real estate, won't suit everyone. For users with smaller hands, one-handed use might be a struggle. Holding a 16:10 ratio device, especially one that folds, can feel cumbersome compared to narrower options like the Z Flip or Moto Razr. Battery life also remains a question. While the phone supports flagship performance, Huawei hasn't detailed battery capacity. With high refresh rate displays on both sides and AI features running in the background, power efficiency will matter more than ever. Then there's the long-term app ecosystem. While Harmony OS works well within China, global viability will depend on how fast Huawei can build its app store and convince developers to support its platform. Without Android, the road ahead is uncharted and potentially bumpy. But in terms of design, usability, and sheer ambition, the Pura X is undeniably bold. It isn't trying to be a Galaxy clone. It's carving out its own path, blending the portability of a flip with the power of a fold. It's not just another foldable, it's proof that there's still room to push smartphone design forward. If you enjoyed the review, don't forget to subscribe for more, and thanks for watching.